Greetings, my friends, and welcome to another Taos Talks. I've been thinking about this a lot lately and wanting to do a talk on it. And it's basically about taking control of your mind, complete control of your mind, which we all have control of our mind to X degree. But there are also other things in there controlling us. And I've talked about this before in other talks, and I've talked about it in descriptions of some of my music videos. And I just really can't emphasize enough how important it is that we are the ones in control of our minds. And as of right now, while I'm recording this, my working title is Take the Helm of Your Mind. And what I mean by that will become clear. And when this started for me, there was a period of my life long ago, that I was in kind of a bad place mentally. I wasn't in control of my life. I had lost control of my life because of lost love, and I lost a relative that I cared very much about, and things just were not going very well for me, and I got trapped in this loop of things not going well, and I couldn't seem to pull out of it. And a friend of mine bought me a book, and the book was called Psycho-Cybernetics, and it was by Maxwell Maltz. And the book sat there on my table in my room for a while, and I just, I wasn't reading it. I guess I was just not in the place that I was even maybe thinking I needed some light shed on what was going on in my life. But what happened was amazing. One day I decided, well, I guess I should read the book, She bought the book for me, so I should read it. And I opened it up and I started reading the introduction. And I came to this line that said, "You are the helmsman of your own mind." And that hit me like nothing at that point in my life had ever hit me. The truth, the simple truth of that. So uncomplicated, so simple, and yet it eludes us, that whole concept, until it's brought up to us. And I closed the book, and I never reopened the book. I didn't read the book, but I read that line. And I didn't need to read the book, because the line, "You were the helmsman of your own mind," was the thesis statement of the whole book. That was the point of the whole book. Everything else, I'm not trying to be insultive or anything, because like I said, I didn't even read it, but to me, everything else in the book would probably have just been fluff to fill the pages, because there was nothing else I needed to hear. That said everything to me. And it probably was the total point of the book. I'm sure it was. But it was what I needed. And everything changed in a moment when I realized that, yes, this is my mind. I should be the one in control. I should be the one at the helm. And I simply took control right on the spot. And naturally, I've spent my whole life since, and I'll probably spend the rest of my life, because I think it's very important, looking for my demons, my fears, my doubts, the things my guilt, whatever, that lie underneath in the subconscious that try to control me, I'm talking the simplest thing. You're a little kid in school, right? And you're 8 years old, and a couple of kids start laughing at you and say, "Hey, you got a big nose," or something like that. And even if you forget that and you move on, it had an effect on you. These become the voices in our head. These become our worst enemies, and we all experience these. We get them from teachers, we get them from our parents, we get them from our siblings, we get them from our friends, we get them from society itself. I mean, I get asked this every once in a while with a couple of my videos, asking if there's subliminal messages in there. No, there's not. Everything is straightforward, with my work. But let me just talk for a second about subliminal messages. When you're watching TV and this commercial comes on, say for deodorant, for example, and they're insinuating to you that if you don't use their product, nobody's going to want to be around you. That is subliminal messaging in its simplest form, and we're surrounded by that from the media, from advertising, from movies we watch, TV shows we watch. These things that insinuate what's the right way to be and what's the wrong way to be, and what's the right clothes to wear, what's the right car to drive, what's the right TV to own. And we start allowing ourselves, if we're not paying attention, to see our own lives, to believe that and judge ourselves based on these things. And that is when we are losing the helm. We are losing control of our vessel, our mind, our life, our path, our journey. And that is our greatest enemy. All of it, no matter where it came from, we all have it. To borrow another metaphor, the wall, okay? The wall inside of us. And there's many people that have talked about the wall, and take the album The Wall. And most people have heard of that. And that was kind of Roger's masterpiece, his ultimate work. But he didn't come up with the concept of the wall, but before that, Kansas, the band Kansas, had a song called The Wall, and Neil Young had a song, and I can't remember the name of it, but in the song he used the lines, "Round and round and round we spin, to weave a wall to hem us in." And the whole idea of the wall is that everything we experience in life, from early childhood on, no matter where we're getting it, like I said, parents, schools, churches, whatever, media, the kid that told you your nose was too big or something, your hair was curly, and laughed, whatever. Those are the bricks in the wall, and they get piled on higher and higher and higher until you can no longer see beyond the wall. You are separated in your conscious self by your subconscious self from your unconscious self, your ancient self, your soul. You're separated from that by this wall. And sometimes things happen in your life, like, traumatic, and the wall gets a crack in it, and maybe it crumbles down a little bit. But that's the whole thing that I'm talking about here with the helmsman of your own mind taking the helm, is that you have to look at every one of those things when they pop up. You can't just sit around and spend your entire life staring at the wall. But when you see something, when you hear one of those voices, look at that voice, and it's telling you your nose is too big somewhere in the background or whatever. Look at that and realize, ask yourself, is this a valid point? Is my nose actually too big? No. I mean, every nose is unique. Every person has their own nose. There's not too big. but and face some truths about that little brick there that's part of this gigantic wall. For starters, some kid that was 8 years old said it to you. Was that kid like the all-knowing kid that, that you should believe anything that kid said? No, he's 8 years old. He don't know nothing. He barely knows how to write his name yet, and yet you are affected by those kind of things as you move on. And say you're 18 and somebody says something, and then you're 30 and that thing is still affecting. Those are pieces, those are bricks of the wall. Those are the things that have to be thrown away. You look at it, is this legit? No, it's not. Throw it away. And there's some things in our minds that are cool, that we do need. For example, the subconscious mind itself, put it in the simplest terms, is a tool. And thousands of years ago, that tool was very vital to our survival. By the time you were 10, 12 years old, your subconscious mind had been programmed to recognize the smell of a predator, depending on what part of the world you lived in. Say you lived in a place where there were tigers or there were lions. You would learn to smell that, and even if you weren't conscious of it, your mind would go, enemy approaching somewhere around here, and you would go on alert, and your fight or flight mechanism would kick in, and it was vital for that to happen. And we had the things that went into our subconscious minds, the things that programmed us to survive in the world we lived in, were all necessary things. Generally speaking. I mean, I'm sure even back then some kids said, hey, your nose is too big. But nowadays, in this day and age we live in, we are saturated with information and data from every direction: smells, taste, sights, sounds, feel. We are so saturated, we're so bombarded with it. And it's just a big mess in there. It's total chaos in there now. And we are so separated from the synchronicity of all of the different parts of our mind that make us up. And we are separated from our unconscious because of our subconscious. And our conscious mind is just kind of sitting there, lost, because we need this cohesive thing going on between all of our mind, the whole thing. So that information, all that garbage that's been put in you need to see it, you need to recognize it, and you need to throw it out. You need to take control in every way, shape, and form of your mind. You need to take the helm of your mind. You are the driver. No one else is the driver, and no one should be allowed to be the driver of your mind. No one should be able to make you doubt your dreams and your desires. Those are your treasures, and you need to grab a hold of those things and give it everything you've got, no matter what it is, and not allow the doubts and stuff that's in there from other people and other things that you have encountered in your life, experiences, whatever. That stuff's got to go. It's in your way, and you need to it's like you're in your car and you're driving down the road and letting go of the steering wheel and just allowing the car to go wherever it wants to. Well, you're not going to do that. You're flying a plane, you're not just going to let go. I mean, sure, you can put it on autopilot in a plane, but that's the problem. We're on autopilot. Many of us have just allowed ourselves to drift along on this autopilot thing. And we need to take back control of ourselves, of our minds. We need to be driving the boat or the car or whatever you want to look at it. And we have to get all that nonsense out of there, because the fact of the matter is, you are a special person. You have your special gifts. You have your special powers. And you have dreams. And you have desires. And that's a great thing. That is a great thing. Those are your gifts. Do not allow anyone to take your gifts, to make you doubt your gifts, to make you doubt that you are special. When I was young, I wanted to be a musician, and here I am, I'm a musician. But when I was young, I was told that only special people get to be musicians. Well, maybe that's true, but I am special. Because I'm me, I'm alive, and I'm living this life. I'm walking on this rock that's floating through space with all these other living things that live on this rock that's floating through space, including all of you, my friends. And so I am special. And so are you. For some reason, the people that were telling me that assumed that they and me and anybody that they personally knew was not special. And we didn't get to do that stuff. We didn't get to live our dreams. We didn't get to do something we love. We just need to go get a job, even if we hate it, and just pay the bills for X amount of years until we get to retire. But no, that's not true at all. That's not true at all. Each one of us is special. Each one of us has special gifts that we came with. And I want you, just like I want me, to take the helm. Take the helm of your life. Take control. You are the driver. Don't let anyone else drive your boat. It's your boat. And you need to drive it to where you want it. Your destination. Your destiny. That's what you're supposed to be doing. And most people in the world aren't going to understand that. But you are. You get this. You understand this. Or you wouldn't even be here if you didn't grasp this concept. You wouldn't even be here. You wouldn't have made it this far into the talk. So you are special. And you need to take control. You have a destiny. You have a purpose. And you are special. And I mean that, my friends. I mean that. You are special. You are a special person. And we all are. You grab the helm of your mind. You become the helmsman of your mind and the helmsman of your life. And you take it where you want it to go. Okay? I guess I should wrap it up. I think I've made my point at this point. So anyway, as always, I really appreciate you all, my friends. I am so glad you came, and I hope that you can take this and go out right now and become strong, become the powerful person that you are. Muster your strength, grab hold of that helm, and go where you want to go. Live your dream. This is it, my friend. This is what we get. Take advantage of it. Seize the day. Okay? All right. It's great talking to you all. As always, I love talking with you all. And I'll be talking with you again. Okay? Love and light to you all. Thank you very much for stopping by.